Hello, my name is Anna Waldorf, and I am a storage technical specialist here at IBM. And thank you so much to Logicalis for having me here today. I'm really excited to talk to everyone a little bit about the IBM FlashSystem. So you may or may not know, but the FlashSystem is our block storage offering, and it is designed to protect your company's data. It's engineered to adapt to changing data landscapes, and it's built to perform at scale. So I'm really excited to delve a little bit deeper into how our technology is able to do that for you. But I like to start off and really talk about what the FlashSystem is as a family overall. So as opposed to a lot of our competitors, the family is really built in simplicity. So we have certain things that run across every model, whether it comes from the small and medium-sized models, all the way up to the large enterprise, highly performant storage models. So one cool thing about the family is that it is software-defined storage. So we have an operating system on the boxes called the IBM Storage Virtualize, and that essentially means that no matter which model you are using, or if you need to upgrade or change, move up sizes, for example, you have the same operating system, which means the same GUI, and it makes it really simple for your storage admin. So that also comes with a ton of common features. So you get uniform features across the whole family, things like inline anomaly detection, which is helping you detect ransomware, things like global mirroring and snapshotting capabilities and AI-driven data tiering. So all of these things are coming on all of our boxes. Another really cool thing that it runs across the whole FlashSystem family is something called Storage Insights. And so Storage Insights is our AI-driven management and analytics tool. So it's where we use a lot of AI capability when it comes to the storage family. So it's a tool that lives in the cloud, so you don't need to run anything on-prem. And Storage Insights is context aware, so it's aware of everything going on in your storage environment. And it uses AI to make sure that your environment is performing optimally. It's doing predictive analytics to alert you if something's going to go down or have some wear and tear in the future. And so it allows you to kind of predict the future in that way. All of this runs across the whole family. So starting at the 5015, which is the smaller boxes, all the way up to the 9600, which is our large enterprise models. You can then see when we get to the FlashSystem 5600, so that is where we start to look at our NVMe-based boxes. So as opposed to our competitors, if you're going out to a Pure or a Dell or an HP, all these companies are using what we like to call dumb industry standard SSD drives, so kind of your run-of-the-mill SSD drives. IBM has actually taken the time to innovate our own drive technology, and we've created something called the FlashCore module. So you may or may not be aware of what the FlashCore module is. I'm going to talk about it a lot today. So the FlashCore module is your normal SSD drive, except we have put a chip on the drive level, and we're actually running AI on the drives themselves. So what does that mean for your storage environment? Well, it means we're able to do things like hardware-driven ransomware threat detection on the drives. As you're putting data into your storage boxes, the algorithm is looking at every single I/O that you're putting into your storage, and it's analyzing that for things like ransomware or things that look like threats. And because we're able to do this at the drive level with our AI-driven algorithms, we actually have a 60-second detection guarantee when it comes to ransomware. We also are doing things like quantum safe encryption. So we're encrypting your data from potential quantum attacks in the future. We're also doing compression and deduplication, so we're getting you more effective capacity on your drives. And all of this is being done on those FlashCore module drives, meaning that that workload is being offloaded from the software on your boxes, and it's happening with no performance impact to your storage whatsoever. So this is something none of our competitors are doing. All of our competitors, if you want to do ransomware threat detection, or if you want to do compression and dedupe, you're going to have to do that on the software, and that will mean there's a performance impact. And so that's something that really sets the FlashSystem apart, is that we have no performance impact to do any of these things because it's doing it on the drives. We also have AI-driven data tiering, so automatically the boxes are moving. If you have more frequently accessed hotter data, it's moving that onto higher performance storage. And if you have colder data, it'll move it onto maybe lesser performant, cheaper storage, which helps you optimize your overall storage environment. We also do something called external storage virtualization. So if you understand the value prop of a hypervisor virtualizing your servers, storage virtualization is actually doing the same thing but for your storage. And so we have the ability to virtualize both non-IBM and IBM storage devices and create one single virtual storage pool environment. So that allows your storage admin to treat all of your storage as a single pool, which makes it easier to do things like move data around, do workload rebalancing, and manage and monitor from a single point. So that is kind of the overall FlashSystem family. I'm going to get into a little bit more about how we use AI to enhance data resilience and what we're doing as of 2026 to future-proof this storage. But I wanted to start out and give kind of the overview of the family. The word of the century, AI. How are we using AI in our storage today? We are actually infusing AI at every level of our storage devices to enhance your data resilience and make you more productive and more optimal. Starting with those FlashCore modules. This is a point I really like to hit home with because it is so important to understand what we're doing with them. The hardware-driven threat detection, the hardware-driven compression, deduplication, and encryption. Again, we're doing that all on the drives themselves, meaning no performance impact to your storage. We're also doing that AI-driven smart placement, which means your drives are durable. And then when you move up to the software level, so that Storage Virtualize operating system level I've talked about, we are doing software-driven threat detection as well. So I know I just talked about this hardware-driven threat detection. We're looking at every I/O of media entering the boxes. And as the patterns of that metadata is coming off of the hardware, our operating system Storage Virtualize is actually looking at those patterns of data coming off of the drives and analyzing it constantly for ransomware as well.
Okay.
And if it notices something is a little bit up, or if it notices there is a known threat, it'll actually be able to send that information to the management tool, which can then connect to your SIEM and SOAR, so your security tools can automatically act on those threats. We also have the classic table stakes features. So we do things like mirroring. We can do highly available solutions. And pretty much anything our competitors do, our boxes can do as well. So then moving up to the cloud level. So this Storage Insights cloud-based tool I've mentioned. Again, this is where we get a lot of AI capability. We can do things like AI-enabled performance analytics. So the AI is aware of your entire storage environment, so it's context aware. And it can see if maybe a box is not performing up to its normal standards or if something's going a little wrong. It will notice that and then can help you do some root cause diagnosis as why your boxes are not performing optimally, and then help you create a set of steps to get your devices back up to standard. It also does AI predictive health analytics. So looking at the overall health of all of your storage and being able to tell you if something is going to go wrong in the future. So it allows you to future-proof your storage investments and kind of better plan for the future. And like I mentioned, complete integration with your SIEM and SOAR. So as your operating system is reading all of those telemetry patterns and looking for ransomware, it's reporting to your Storage Insights to be able to alert your storage admin and integrate with your SIEM and SOAR so your security orchestration tools can act on threats immediately. This obviously all just means you're more resilient and your recovery timeline is shorter and you're being able to address threats more quickly. The FlashCore modules, I know I've talked about them a lot, but they're a really important piece. So they are the fastest and longest lasting flash in the industry right now. And we also have AI running on that hardware, like I've mentioned. So we've actually never had a single FlashCore module wear out in the field. And that really speaks to their durability, obviously. And that's due to a few things, mainly because we do variable striped RAID and we do AI-driven health binning on your data. So again, none have ever worn out in the field. And I do like to reiterate that AI-driven ransomware threat detection, we guarantee that we will discover threats within 60 seconds on these drives, as well as quantum-safe encryption up to FIPS 140-3 standard, and then that classic compression and dedupe, getting you more effective capacity per dollar on these drives. So then moving up to that Storage Virtualize software stack. So this is technology that's been around over 25 years. It actually started as an appliance to help you virtualize your storage, but now it's just built into all of our boxes. So the importance of this virtualization aspect is that it gives you a consistent management point. So you can manage all of your storage. Obviously, we'd love it if you were completely IBM, but we understand that's not the reality of the situation. So you have the ability to virtualize both competitor and IBM storage behind the same virtual management. This delivers ultimate flexibility, so you're able to do headache-free data migration. You're not bringing a box down to migrate data. It's happening all behind that virtualization layer. And that just gives you a lot of flexibility and kind of ease of use when it comes to managing your storage. So Storage Virtualize also delivers those common capabilities I talked about. So we do things like clustering. We can do AI-driven smart tiering, DRAID 6, replication, mirroring, etc. A lot more capabilities that we can talk to. And then finally, I do like to talk about the safeguarded copy piece, which is a crucial piece to a resiliency strategy. So our Storage Virtualize is able to do policy-driven backup snapshots that are kept on the primary array. So it's policy-driven, meaning you can just set it and forget it, and the snapshots will automatically be taken. And they are kept on the primary array, hidden by a logical air gap. So it means if a bad actor gets into your boxes, they won't be able to see these backups, and even if they did, they wouldn't be able to touch them because they're immutable. Because they're kept on the primary array, that actually leads you to be able to recover so much quicker. And in fact, we guarantee that you'll be able to recover within 60 seconds from one of these snapshots. The final piece of the Storage Virtualize is that ransomware threat detection that's happening also at the OS level. So all of that data that's being looked at on the hardware, those patterns are being passed up to the operating system, where it is then looking for known anomaly patterns. And so all of our devices have access to basically it's a big watsonx data lake with all telemetry data from all flash systems in the field. And why this is important is because it then has historical anomaly threat patterns from all boxes in the field. So it'll be able to compare what's coming off of your box from what's normal and what could be an anomalous pattern. And then it is reporting that information to your SIEM and SOAR to act on any threats as needed. And then finally, I do like to show what storage insights would look like for an administrator who is monitoring and managing their storage devices. So this is kind of a screenshot of what the GUI looks like. And again, this is a cloud-based tool that's monitoring and managing your whole storage fleet. So you can see how easy it is to look at things like performance deviations. So you can monitor and optimize your device performance. And if you see something's a little off in terms of the telemetry data coming off of your boxes, it will help you do intelligent root cause diagnosis. So it understands the whole environment that you're working in and then can help you diagnose what's going wrong and prescribe steps to optimize your performance better. It also does those predictive analytics. So forecasting into the future, you can receive early warnings about device health as well as capacity analytics. So if you're working with a certain budget cycle and need to plan for specific capacity patterns, it can help you do that. That is kind of the overview of what the IBM FlashSystem is, the family, and a few of its differentiators. But we like to say that we are the future of storage with all of the cool stuff we're doing in 2026. So I did want to focus a little bit about what's the future of the Flash system and what we have announced this year. We actually had a pretty big Flash system announcement in February of 2026 where we did a full line refresh. And so all of these things are brand new, but they're available in our newest boxes. So the 5600, the 7600, and the 9600, if you remember from the first slide. Historically, block storage framework has been a much more monolithic, highly reliant on CPU connectivity to do things like monitoring and management, and very highly reliant on manual operations by storage administrators. As we move into this newest generation of Flash system, IBM's point of view is that we are moving more towards a disaggregated, fabric-based storage framework, one that is reacting to your business SLAs and is able to integrate AI agentic pieces to make sure your storage is fulfilling those SLAs. I do want to talk a little bit about one of the newest things in our boxes, which is called FlashSystem.ai. This is the agentic piece I'm mentioning, the 24/7 context-aware storage administrator. And we got a cute little logo down here for FlashSystem.ai, but really he is there to accelerate decision-making with AI-driven storage optimization. It's meant to keep a human in the loop. It won't go out and make any decisions without keeping a human in the loop, but it will explain its reasoning, suggest performance improvements, and then also learn from administrator feedback. So it's meant to enhance your storage administrator's knowledge while keeping you all in control. You can see an example of what the chat looks like in the middle here. This is just an example of a use case maybe your storage administrator could undergo when interacting with FlashSystem.ai. Maybe your storage admin wakes up and the agent has been running all night. It alerts them of anything that happened over the night. No threats, all is good. And your storage administrator has a use case they need to do today. So they're going to say, I need storage to support a low latency, highly performant finance application running in my VMware environment with about 2 terabytes of storage. And I need this storage to be protected with DR to my remote site in Boston, an RPO of no more than 5 minutes. I'd also like this data to be protected locally with safeguarded copies, created every hour and kept for a week. I can't imagine how long that would take to do manually, but if your administrator is able to put that into conversational terms, the FlashSystem.ai can then use its context awareness and prescribe a set of steps such as this, where your admin can just go in and click, 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 and they're able to execute all of that with a few clicks. So we actually did the math, and the storage management effort that storage admins used to have to do can be reduced up to 90% using FlashSystem.ai. So something that used to take a storage admin 7 minutes, you can now do with a click and a 30-second prompt. Very, very powerful tool, and this is, again, available with all of our newest boxes. So it's turning your environment into an intelligent, autonomous storage system. It's allowing everyone at your company to do seamless self-service operations, obviously with the correct permissions. And you can automatically meet performance, capacity, and availability SLAs through your context-aware AI. And then finally, aligning your storage with business goals with this new idea, which is called data contracts, which is essentially a way to formalize your SLAs and embed them into your storage environment. I do want to talk about what data contracts are. So like I mentioned, it's embedding business intent into your storage infrastructure. Traditionally, you might have some SLAs and you would try and build your storage environment and your IT environment to hit those SLAs. But as we know, SLAs change, IT environments change. And so data contracts are a way to actually put those into the storage infrastructure itself. Your team would simply need to state what they need in terms of their business needs in plain language, and the system uses AI to automatically align the storage performance and protection and behavior to match those SLAs. The contracts are extremely easy to create. You can either make them from scratch or there's some best practice templates you can use, and then they're automatically applied using FlashSystem.ai. The contracts are also continuously enforced, so your admin will be notified if anything needs to change, but since they're embedded in, the AI is doing all the work for them. And then that brings us to the newest models. I did just want to throw this up onto the screen, so if you need to pause and look at the specs, you can, but I quickly wanted to point out the types of density we're seeing with these newest models. And again, these are all coming with FlashSystem.ai and all of the features I mentioned previously. With the entry-level box, the 5600, we are seeing up to 2.4 petabytes of effective capacity, and that's in a 1U box. So these things are extremely dense and providing a ton of effective capacity per dollar. The 7600 then goes up to 7.3 petabytes of effective capacity in 2U rack space, and the 9600, which doubles its performance from the 7600, is up to 11.8 petabytes in effective capacity. Extremely dense, extremely highly performant, and I just wanted to put these up there so you all had access to the newest models. And then the final note I did want to mention is that I know a lot of us are aware, I'm sure, of all the materials and the availability constraints going on with storage right now. And it seems like things are changing day by day. But because IBM has such granular control over its manufacturing processes and its product availability, we have remained highly, highly competitive when it comes to pricing in these uncertain times, as well as availability. So as of right now, we have product that's available to ship. So if you are curious and you are wanting to see some pricing, or if you're just curious about any of these models, please, please, please reach out to your Logicalis reps, and they'll be able to give you the most up-to-date news when it comes to these materials constraints and availability and pricing and everything. So I think that is it, but thank you so much. Again, my name is Anna Waldorf, and if you have any questions, please feel free to email me or reach out to your Logicalis reps. Thank you so much.